My name is Jamie, and this is Hot Dog Crochet. Push you guys back just a touch if I can get it to do what I want it to, maybe. There we go. Oh, go back to your main subscriptions. Okay, now go over because I can see it already. And then down, one, then over. There you go. I hope y'all are doing well. I'm still working on my crochet sweatshirt. I am still in the fan section. So that is where I'm going to continue. I hope that you all are having a good day. It's pretty nice here. It's a little overcast. So it's a nice day. Just hanging out here, waiting to see if we're going to have anybody join us. If you don't already know, I finally got up a tutorial on my on my YouTube channel, and it's the very beginning of crocheting a shirt, sweatshirt, sweater. And that is, it's going to be a series because I am doing my tutorial in real time while I work on my sweatshirt. This piece is oversized and it's going to be like a 4X for me, but you can make it in any size you would like. Hello and welcome, everyone. Hello, hello. I hope y'all are having a good weekend. We're having a good one here. I guess you can't really see what I'm working on, can you? I am still crocheting on this project. It's going to take me a while to finish it, but that's just how these go. Is anyone working on anything fun this weekend? Or doing anything fun? What is going on this week? Well, I get my iron infusion this week, and then we also have our first market of August coming up on Sunday. So I'm excited for that, to see how that goes. Make sure if you haven't taken your meds that you take your meds and that you drink your water. You have to take care of you. Sorry, I'm gonna stay hydrated. I don't have a whole lot on my mind to talk about, but I'm really enjoying working with the Premier Just Chenille. It's working up really nicely, and it is pretty easy to crochet with. I definitely would not make plushies with this yarn because they'd turn out way too small for me. However, I think that this will be a good, oops, made a mistake. Got to rip back, which is very easy to do. But making, you know, outerwear and clothing with this yarn, I think is awesome. I don't know that I'd make a bag out of it because I don't think it's quite ready to be, it's not the kind of yarn that would be good for bags because bags get thrown around and, you know, banged into things and they get used hard. Oh, my goodness. I have made pot holders, but I've never started a pot holder and ended up with an Afghan. Hello. But I can see how you can do that, especially if you're doing something where you work from the middle out. I think my favorite, like, middle out crochet stitch that you can use, like, in blankets. Oh, my day's been good. How's your day been? The stitch I like the best is the corner to corner in the round, because it just seems like it works up so well. Hello. You're very welcome, but I hate to tell you this. I'm actually a right-handed crocheter. I wish I could show you what a left-handed crocheter looks like. Oh, I can see myself on TV. I see what you mean about me looking like I'm a left-handed crochet artist. I'm not actually. Because the good deal, I'm glad it's going good. My camera's doing a mirror image. I am not exactly getting low, but I have worked through quite a bit of this yarn. I am working on a sweatshirt for a tutorial. It's going to have a hood and a front pocket, long sleeves. I'm just in the body section right now. And I'm using the Premier Just Chenille and a 6.5 millimeter hook. And this particular stitch pattern that I'm working on is just a very simple fan stitch. And around until you get dizzy. I'm doing a tutorial on this project. The first video is out already on my channel, and I will have the second video ready for next Wednesday. That is a great question. This particular project, because I am making it oversized for a 4X, it's hour-wise of just crocheting. It's going to take me about 40-45 hours. And that's just because I'm making it so oversized for my size. If you're making it smaller, you can easily, get it, depending on your size, you can get it done much faster. Hello. It would go much faster if I was making a crochet sweatshirt or shirt or sweater for my mom. And you can make it go faster by turning it into a crop top, or you can make it faster by making it short sleeves or no sleeves. And you don't have to add on the hood. Oh, my crochet, yes. So let me sit back a little bit. Where is it? So there's a V. Nope, that's not my V. Where is my V? There's my V. Okay. So I've got a V-line neckline, and then I'm doing a fan stitch motif for the body. And then when I get it long enough, what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap over to a mock ribbing. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much for subscribing. That's very kind of you, and it's always helpful. I like making new friends. Knitting and crochet are muscle memory type crafting projects. So what I mean by that is that your body has to learn how to make the stitches. Your body has to learn what it feels like when you have your hook in the right place and when you have the hook in the wrong place. And that just comes from practice. And yes, it can be hard at first, but practice makes better. And if it's something that you want to do, just keep practicing, because you never start out being perfect. I'm going to be 100%. Oh. Okay, Curry, Mississippi. I'm not sure if you're talking about for the sweatshirt or if you're talking about just in general learning stitches. So in general learning stitches and learning what you're doing, I always recommend a cheap acrylic. If you're talking about making clothing, it depends a little bit. I have found that nice acrylic and polyester yarns, which are basically, chenille yarns, they're going to give you a lot of warmth. If you're looking for something that is a little bit cooler, I would go with I'd go with a cotton or a cotton blend. because it's a little bit more breathable, and because both an acrylic or a polyester or a cotton, most of the time you can just wash them and dry them and be good to go. You know, there are all kinds of tutorials on YouTube. And I always recommend, you know, looking up what you want to do, because there's all kinds of tutorials out there and people will explain things in different ways. And maybe one person explains it and you don't understand it, but another person explains it and it'll make a lot better sense for you. Do you need to know how to sew? Not really, because in crochet and knitting, yeah, we say that we're sewing in our ends, but really what we're doing is just weaving that yarn in and out of the stitches so that it stays put and doesn't come undone. Crocheting always, well, almost always works up faster than knitting. Crochet has some stitch, but I find that knitting has a lot more stretch to it. And I like both. They both have their good points. Yes. And so basically, every so often I throw in a stitch marker so I know where my beginning of the round is. So if nothing else, I can rip back, you know, if I don't know where I'm at, I can at least rip back to the beginning of the round and start over again. However, you can also fake it till you make it. And if you can read the stitches that you have below in in the row below, you usually can figure out where you're at. And if like you missed a stitch or you added a stitch, just fake it till you make it. And you know, if you added a stitch, do a decrease. If you need to add a stitch, add a stitch. It does not have to be perfect. And over time, the more that you crochet or knit, the better you are at reading your stitches and knowing where you are in the pattern or where you're at with the idea that you have. The clothing that I make, I don't typically follow any type of pattern. It just is something that I see in my head and then I work on making it happen. I do not draw a pattern like with dimensions. The closest that I get to that is if I take a sweater and I like divide it in three, well, a picture of a sweater, and divide it in three and figure out like how many stitches I need for my neckline. Or like if I'm going from one stitch pattern like single crochets to a different one like a leaf pattern, I want to make sure that I have enough stitches in the single crochets that when I swap to the next stitch pattern that they will match up. I'll do a little bit of math, but I really don't do a whole lot of drawing of what's in my head. I just kind of let it flow. Like this piece is going to have a couple different stitch patterns. So the first one was the single crochets. The second one is the fan stitch that I'm working on right now. The third one is going to be the rib stitch that I'm going to do. And then the fourth one is going to be the moss stitch on the arms. And so I know where stuff wants to go, where I want stuff to go, but I don't actually sit down and draw it out. My channel is called Hot Dog Crochet because that's my business name. And I've had dachshunds basically my entire life. And when I was a kid, we didn't really call them wiener dogs. We called them hot dogs. And so that is why my channel is called Hot Dog Crochet. I have a black and tan dachshund. And then we also have a dachshund Chihuahua cross right now. Plus, I mean, I love me some dachshunds. No, they will not wear them. And I'm not going to make something that they're just going to tear up. I love them to bits and pieces, but no, they are, they don't like clothes and stuff. My old man dachshund that passed away last year, he had sweaters and stuff. But he was 15 years old. These two young whippersnappers, one is 7 and one will be 9. So they're, you know, quite a bit younger than my old man was. And they're very opinionated, which is part of the reason why I love them. They've got oftentimes they have such big personalities. But I tend to make clothing for like my family members and like especially my mom, my aunt, and then one of my mom's friends. I do. I have a website that does not look very nice because I haven't put a whole lot of work into it because I don't like dealing with the website. But yes, I do sell my items. I also, like I'll sell online and then I also sell in person. And I really enjoy making stuff. It's just kind of fun to do. I also will repair items that have been knit or crocheted. And then maybe moths got to it or a child with scissors got to it. I do repairs for folks on heirloom projects because those, things that were made by your grandma or your great grandma or that were purchased in, I don't know, Japan or in the UK, that stuff is important memories. And yeah, you don't have to actually have the blanket or the sweater, whatever it was, to remember those memories, but it's awful nice to have that piece of your history. My grandmothers did not knit or crochet. It just wasn't something that they wanted to do. So I learned how to crochet from my great-grandmother. And both of my great-grandmothers on my mother's side were avid knitters and crocheters. Oh, thank you very much. And it's kind of interesting because most of the rest of the family does not knit or crochet, but I do. And it's just, it's the fiber arts is something that I have always been drawn to. Because it's like painting with yarn. And it really does give me that dopamine kick. I think Mom is outside watering plants again. Blankets, no. Typically, blankets are not hard to do. It's just that you have to remember that the bigger the blanket you're making, the heavier it's going to be, and the longer it's going to take you to complete. And so I've crocheted a lot of blankets. I tend to make baby blankets and then also like throw blankets for the couch or the chairs. I did make a queen size blanket and I have to take it to a commercial washer and dryer because it's just too heavy for our washer and dryer. It would burn out the motors. So, and I love it. I love the colors in it, but it's just too heavy to wash here at home. That particular blanket, I made it over like 2 months because what I was doing was I was taking scrap yarn from other projects and making that blanket. Okay, so I don't know the Native Americans that I've learned about did more like beading and weaving. And so when they make their blankets, if I understand correctly, it's a I don't think they may do it on like a big loom, but I think that they do it on a like on a handheld loom that goes over their shoulder. So I don't think, as far as I know, I do not know of Native Americans that did crochet. Now, that doesn't mean that they didn't. It just means that I don't know about it, which there's a lot of things out there that I don't know. I know that there were the ones that I have learned about, like in my area, were very, they would make stuff from like the hides of buffaloes, because that's what lived in this area. In fact, we have a buffalo ranch that's just like 8 miles south of us, where you can actually see real buffalo. And it's a little bit safer than going to Yellowstone, because in Yellowstone, the animals are all free to wander wherever they want to, and people don't recognize that those animals are wild animals. And so they get too close and then they can get hurt. Because it seems like every summer we have someone that gets hurt by buffalo or bison up in Yellowstone. And it's just because people got out of their cars and got in the animal's way, and the animal felt threatened, and responded, because that's what they do. And because I live here, I understand that like the wildlife here is wild. There's more antelope here than there are humans. And so it's a different way of interacting with our day-to-day normal environment. There's someone that comes like from the big city who is used to dealing with maybe a lot of traffic, or being maybe more street smart than we are here. Their experiences are no less valid, but being street smart in a big city doesn't necessarily make you street smart out in the wilderness, basically. I mean, we have pronghorn antelope that are just, they come through by the interstate. We see deer in the cemeteries, which are just a couple blocks away. There used to be a den of red foxes where our airport is, and finally they had to be moved for their own safety. We get moose that come through town. We get mountain lions that come through town. We don't really get wolves that come through town, but we do get big animals coming through. The most difficult crochet project I've ever completed. That's a very good question. I can tell you the one that's still sitting here that I need to complete, that I am dragging my feet on because I do not, for whatever reason. I mean, I like the yarn, I like the colors, I like the stitch pattern, but I just am not liking working on it right now. And there is no real reason why. I just am not wanting to work on it. So, but the one that I've finished, it's not a crochet project, but I do have a knit sweater from my mom that's almost finished. All I have to do is weave in the ends. And it's been sitting there since November, and I haven't completed it. I was frustrated with the way that it came out, because you can't really see the pattern, the color pattern that's in it. That was frustrating. But my hardest crochet project, I think that my hardest crochet project, I know what it was. Learning the virus blanket pattern. I started that thing a lot of times, then I had to sit down and I come back and then sit down and come back, rip it out several times. And then finally I landed on and I don't remember which one it was. It might've been Fiber Spider, but someone explained it just slightly differently. And then my brain went click and I caught the pattern and was able to actually complete that blanket. But that was really difficult because I knew the stitches. I knew how to complete all the stitches, but to see the pattern and know what comes next, I just couldn't, my brain just could not recognize it. And I struggled with that for over a year. And then after I listened, I do think it was Fiber Spider on something else that had that stitch in it. And then it was like, whoo, okay, now I get it. And, you know, sometimes that happens. If you have something that's just not making sense, set it down for a while and then come back. Hello, how are you doing? And maybe it'll make more sense. Sometimes you need the time away from it to figure it out. I am making a sweatshirt, a 4X oversized sweatshirt for myself. I am doing the fan stitch, and right now, when I am using the Premier just chenille yarn. Oh, awesome. What color is your beanie? Or is it multicolors? Oh, blue, awesome. I love blue. I really love purple too, as you can tell by, you know, the screen behind me. Ah, cool. I like those colors. One thing that I've been doing on this project that I do on knit projects, but I don't usually do on my crochet projects. Instead of continuously moving this marker down, what I did was at the end of the first day, after I was done with my live, I moved this stitch marker up. And now this is the end of what I did yesterday. And so then when I'm done today, I'm going to add another stitch marker on so that I can see my project progress. Not that long, maybe 2 hours-ish. I'm not putting a ton of time into this every day. I'm working on it every day, but not putting in like really long, hard hours, like to get it done this weekend or whatever. I am making a tutorial video of it, and the first in the series of the tutorial is out. The second one will be out on this next Wednesday. Hello, glad to see that you're back. My fingers? No. But I have been doing this and holding my yarn like this and my hook like this for a very, very long time. I learned how to crochet when I was 5 years old. And so, no, my fingers don't really hurt. Every once in a while, I'll have some pain like in my wrist, but even that doesn't happen very often. And I have wrist braces that I can wear if I need to. I have found that compression gloves for me right now don't really work well. Oh, I'm sorry. Doggone it. Sometimes people can be mean. But I won't make fun of you for crocheting. I love to crochet. I used to take yarn and hooks with me to school. I've always been someone that crochets, and I am always someone that has been drawn to yarn. Forsaken. No, that's not familiar to me. What is Forsaken? Is it like a movie or a music group? If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. That, you know, every new friend helps. I still have hooks that my great-grandmother bought and gave to me. I don't typically use them, but I have them. Cool. Yeah, I don't really game much. My cousin's son does a lot of gaming, but I don't. I do like to play, right now, what is it? There's a yarn one where you take the yarn off of like some kind of project, and it eventually you fill up the bobbins and the yarn goes away, and you completely take the project apart, kind of like going backwards. Instead of putting it together, you take it apart on Roblox. Okay. I don't have Roblox, so I'll have to ask my cousin's son about it. I still have quite a bit on this cone, but I know from where I'm at in my project that I am going to use this entire cone. Oh, awesome. Huh. Okay. I've never heard of that, but okay. I mean, I've heard of Jasmine Stitch, but Forsaken. Okay. I'll have to look that up. Yes, that's very cool. Are you designing, well, I mean, obviously, since no one else has crocheted them, you're designing them on your own. That's awesome. Oh, thank you very much. EZ, do you have a channel yourself? Thank you. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know why people have to be mean sometimes. There's no reason for it. Yes. I have heard that surgeons sometimes will crochet or knit. In fact, I ran into a rheumatologist down in Denver. Actually, I've run into a couple of providers down in Denver that that knit or crochet. Yes. If you want to do something with that pattern, like sell it, or anything else with it, yes, I would write it down. You may be able to create other characters based on that pattern that you've already created. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, no, you don't have to put your pattern in the chat, hon. But thank you very much for sharing. Shorts. I every once in a while will make a short and post it to YouTube, but I'm not real good at doing that. I am better at doing lives, to be honest with you. Sometimes, yeah. Hello. Yeah, chat can sometimes be, because it's so small, it's harder to read sometimes. But, you know, it's part of going live. It's how I get to interact with you guys and talk with you guys. Oops, wrong way. So this is going to be the front pocket of my sweater. I'm knitting it just for kicks. I don't have to, but I figure I might as well because I have the time to do it and I have the yarn to do it. Oh, thank you very much. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I just like watching, you know, detective shows. Crocheting? No. Knitting? Yes. I really like to use sharp knitting needles. They work better for me, but I have punctured my thumb and my index finger multiple times while I was knitting. But the crochet hooks, even though they kind of have a point at the top, it's not that sharp. They're blunt, so you're not going to hurt yourself on them. However, knitting needles can be pretty pointy and sharp, and it's easy to poke a hole in your thumb or in your finger. Yeah, I've gotten back into watching some crime shows. I just like how they figure out, the detectives and the families or whomever, how they figure out what happened and how they bring the killers to justice, or the criminals to justice, and they can prove what happened with like touch DNA and now familiar DNA. There's just so much science in solving crimes. And, when I was younger, it didn't seem to me like there was a lot of science in trying to solve crimes, but you can definitely see it in those crime shows when they talk about how they figured out who the criminal was. Yes, my mother and I used to love to watch the Closure while she was on TV. I think it was like TNN or something like that we watched her on. And we really enjoyed that. But I've been watching crime shows of like cold case files, where they're taking cold cases and they're able to solve them, which I really enjoy. I love to knit and crochet to that kind of stuff. And then, of course, I love watching stuff about dogs, like the different dog shows. I love watching that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I have a dog that when we put anything that has animals on, or people that are agitated or doorbells, he is up and he is watching the TV. He loves to watch TV and watch stuff on my phone with me. He's very interested in what's on TV, but our other dog, she does not care. Doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't bother her. I also like watching DOS Outdoors and DOS Farms, which is a farming, they're owned by the same person, but they're farming channels. And they had a little cow yesterday, a calf, but she's female. And she's just too cute. I love watching the farm shows with the babies. I'm never going to have a miniature dachshund, I'm never going to have a donkey or a miniature donkey or a cow. I'm never going to have a Highland cow. But at least I can watch them on TV and live vicariously through somebody else, you know? Which is awesome for me because there's a lot of days where I could not get up and do stuff even for the dogs. And so that fell on Mom. And I feel bad about it, but on the other hand, when my body says no, my body says no. We could, yeah. You're right, that was a very good show. And you're right, there's a lot of stuff that's unrealistic. Yeah. I watched something where they handcuffed somebody in the front instead in the back. And it's like, that's not how the police would normally do it. But they're looking more for like the drama to get the views, I think, rather than the reality of what really happens when someone gets arrested or something happens. My mom is working on her glam chicks. She crochets little chickens and then adds all kinds of fun and silly doodads to them. She puts, you know, feet on them with shoes. And she puts sunglasses or googly eyes on them and gives them hair, and she does all kinds of stuff with her little glam chicks. when she gets done later on, I don't know if it'll be done today or tomorrow, but when it gets done, I'll post a picture of it, because she always takes pictures of them, and she takes such good pictures. So I can just steal a picture and throw it up. My mom, I think, kind of likes doing the smaller stuff, and I like doing the bigger stuff. My mom has a very green thumb, and we have several of her African violets blooming right now, and they sure are pretty. If it was left up to me, I would forget to crochet or to water them, but luckily we have Mom. A doll? No, not really. The closest, well, I do plushies, like this guy. So this is a quokka from Ireland off of Australia. They're they almost look like they're part like wallaby maybe, but the picture I had, he had a lot of different colors and whatnot. So that's why I did a bunch of colors for this guy. I had to order his eyes in special. Oh, thank you very much. So, you know, and I made that up on my own. I didn't have a pattern. But I like making plushies like that. And I like making clothing as well. Hello, how are you doing? I'm sorry, I missed that. What I need? I'm so sorry. I am very confused, Kelsey. What do you mean by that? Hmm. Okay. Hmm. No, 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 no. I've done a lot of plushies. In fact, I have several boxes of them out in the garage getting ready to go to my market on, not tomorrow, but next Sunday. And I'm going to try and do my best to get a little bit of videoing of the market and how I set up. But no promises because I don't know how it's going to go. I make, oh, my market, it is a craft market that runs every Sunday in August at the local mall. And so we're going to try that and see how things kind of go. We're just trying out different venues and seeing maybe what works, what doesn't work for our local area, because although we're in the capital city, it's still a very, very small community. There's more people in Denver than there are just in the city of Denver. Not like all the suburbs and everything, just the city of Denver than there are in my state. I think that's why there's so many more animals than us. And that I'm okay with. Oh, no, that's fine. Yes, I am in Wyoming. We're down in Cheyenne. And we have family that we visit over in Nebraska. Ooh, there is a yarn mill in Nebraska, and it is a fully functioning yarn mill. You can go in and take tours. They have a massive warehouse, but they also have a little store where they sell their yarns. And it's really cool to go to. It's over in Mitchell, Nebraska, and it is called the Brown Sheep Company.
It's not in the town, it's in the country. That's just a new one.
Mother is correcting me. It's not in the town, it's out in the country near Mitchell, Nebraska. But that's a fun place to go and do the tour and buy yarns because you can get them on discount. It's pretty awesome. And Frontier Days is almost over, thank goodness. Although it's been a very quiet Frontier Days, and I have been pleasantly surprised for myself, but that's not good for businesses. The businesses around town really do depend on Frontier Days and Christmas. They depend on having out-of-towners come in and spend a lot of money, and I don't think that really happened this year. But we'll see. Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, Yellowstone is a fun place to go. Cody's pretty cool to go. But up in that area, there's a lot more like mountainous kind of areas. Down in my area where we're at, we're more on the high plains, because Wyoming is kind of stuck between the two. I think it's called the Caldera up in Yellowstone. The southern one is moving, and it moves like, it moves constantly, but I think it's like a quarter of an inch or an inch or something. I can't remember. Every year. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. We have a lot of rodeos in Wyoming. But I guess they moved the bull riding section of the rodeo from Frontier Days. They moved it somewhere else.
No, they didn't. They do it on, there's a lot of bull riding. They do it during the rodeo, but then there's 2 nights, or 1 night, specific.
No, it's gone.
They have it, I could have swore that they had it.
Anyways, so my understanding is that they're not doing the bull riding this year. But they've made a lot of changes up there at Frontier Days, and I don't know if that'll work out good or bad. The good thing about Frontier Days is it's good for the businesses. It's good for, you know, people to make money. The bad thing is that it brings a lot of people in, and it makes our town really dirty. People leave trash, you know, and then there's all kinds of crazy flies. I do apologize. I did not mean to cuss. But it'll be interesting to see how this year goes. I really hope that we don't lose a lot of businesses, but we'll see. Yeah. If there's such a thing as baby fever, there's got to be something similar for, you know, dog fever. Not puppies, but dogs. I would love to have another dog, but we can't do it right now. Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know, maybe another 20, 30 minutes. I'll be live again on Thursday at 5 and then next Saturday at 4. Right now it is 2:16 in the afternoon.
Not standard. Not be right.
Ah, I see. Yep. Central time. Yeah. Are you having fun? Are you on vacation? Or are you down there for school? Thank you so much, and I'll see you again, Craig. Yeah, we're pretty close to Denver. Yeah. I hope you're having fun down there on vacation then. I am crocheting a sweatshirt. I am doing the fan stitch portion of the body right now. And I'm using Premier just chenille yarn. Okay. Yeah, I gotcha. Someday I think Mom and I are going to go to the Grand Canyon and see the Grand Canyon. I've never been there before. I've been a lot of other places, but I've never been to the Grand Canyon. Oh, okay, cool. You must really like to travel then. That's cool. My grandma and grandpa used to put me in the motorhome and we'd go sightseeing. It took me forever to learn how to say Mount Rushmore because what I wanted to say was Mount Mushmore. I even got one of my cousins saying Mount Mushmore instead of Mount Rushmore. I have one cousin that's about my age. Well, we're fairly close in age. And she and I think we used to kind of feel jealous of each other. Ah, cool. And I think now that we're adults, we realize that neither of us had a perfect life. And yes, we wanted stuff from, you know, I wanted a dad and a brother really bad. And she wanted to spend more time with her grandparents. I spent a ton of time with my grandparents, and got to see them basically every day. And so, you know, she wanted that kind of relationship with her grandparents. And I wanted a little brother and a dad like she had. But I think now that we're adults, we recognize that nothing is perfect. Just because it looks like the grass is greener on the other side does not mean that it is. He passed away. And it's been Mom and I and my grandparents for a long time. My grandfather passed away when I was 16, and my grandma passed away 2 years ago. Almost, well, 2 years ago in September. But before that, Papa and Grandma were huge influences in my life. No, it has to do with criminal activity, so I would rather not talk about it, but, you know. My papa and I, man, we'd get in these trucks that were called brats, and they were kind of like El Camino, so they're really low to the ground. And we'd drive around and go see like my great grandma, or, you know, just tootle around the town or go out to eat. And it was just the two of us a lot. And I have a lot of memories of Papa and I being in the little brat trucks and driving around. Thank you. It's hard no matter who you lose. It's hard. But you always have to remember who's still with you and who still loves you. And sometimes that can be kind of hard to think about. But knowing that you are loved and you are wanted and you are needed is pretty important for all of us. We're not just cogs in a wheel. We matter to somebody. Exactly. Yes, I know exactly what you mean. We lost my old man dog in October, and it's hard. He was my Velcro dog, and my dachshund that I have now is not a Velcro dog. He's very independent. His personality is way different than my old man's, but he's still a good boy. Yeah, it's always good, I think, to have animals around because you get to spend time. Sometimes they can be frustrating, but a lot of times they're fun and they're comforting. And dogs just have fun personalities. And they tend to be intuitive and just good company. Yes. Yeah. That's always hard. Oh, man, that's rough. I'm sorry. But I hope that you can find comfort with the little ones that you still have. And, you know, even though they've passed, like you said, they're always going to be with you. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, they may be gone, but never forgotten. Yep. So, new controversy. Are you a Stanley Cup person or are you like a Yeti Cup person? Because I am, whoops, Team Yeti. And I have been for a long time. They definitely keep my drinks cold. Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of my cousins is into Stanleys, and which is fine. I just never have been. I like my Yetis, and I don't ever put like stickers on my drink cups. I haven't quite figured that situation out yet. I know a lot of people put them like on their water bottles and whatnot, but that just confuses me. Because then how do you wash? I mean, you can wash them, but eventually those stickers come off. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. Do you make any of your own keychains? Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry about the noise. My yarn holder likes to walk on its own. Yeah. I used to be really into keychains, but since I don't drive anymore, they're not high on my list. I'm not going to show you the front side because it's got stuff there that I don't want you to see, but there's a, this is technically something that you put like on luggage. No, it's a name tag, but you can also put it on luggage. And this is how I carry like my identification and stuff. That way I never lose it. I have a place right here by where I sit that I clip it so I know where it's at. Because I'm just one of those people that if it's not where it's supposed to be, I don't know where it's at. Oh, no problem. I have hepatic encephalopathy. And so what that means is that my liver is not cleaning the toxins out of the body like it's supposed to. And those toxins kind of get stuck in the brain. And so you get like brain fog and you get really tired. You easily get distracted and it's harder to make decisions. And when hepatic encephalopathy, when you're having a flare of it, it's almost like you're drunk. And so I would not want to be behind the wheel when my brain is acting like I'm drunk. And so I just don't drive because we never know when it's going to flare up. And I just would rather not hurt anybody else. That's my big deal. The older I get, the more, I guess, conscious and awareness that I have. Yes and no. So, if I get bad enough, they could do a liver transplant. The problem is there's not enough livers to go around, number one. And number two, even if I were to get a new liver, it would work well for a while, but then it would start to fail over time because the disease processes going on in my body don't stop just because you get a new liver. And so they could extend my life some, but it's not going to completely go away. And over time, I'll get bad again. So my choice, and this is just my choice, is that I don't want a liver transplant. I would rather that go to someone who can utilize it and do something great with their life or raise their kids, which I still think is great. You know, people that need it, I don't feel like I need it. When it's my time, I'll go because I have lived maybe not a great life sometimes, but I think that I've had a very blessed life. I've made mistakes and I'll continue to make mistakes, but I'm learning from my mistakes and I'm growing, and I realize I've gotten way better about realizing that my tone of voice and what I say can affect somebody else's day. That's correct. And so I try to be more considerate of others, especially people that they can't help what's going on and they're just trying to deal with the problem. Because again, it's not their fault. And when I was younger, I did not have that understanding that me being loud and me being angry could hurt somebody or hurt their, you know, cause them to have a bad day. And as an adult and getting older, I realized that I don't want to be that person. And so I work to not be that person. Because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or, you know, really, I just don't want to hurt anybody. And that's what it comes down to. And you are 100% correct. We are not perfect. We're human. And we're going to make mistakes. And I think now that I'm older and I realize that I'm going to make mistakes, but that it's not the end of the world, I think that I handle them better. Yeah. You're 100% right. Correct. You are 100% right. And if you don't learn from your mistake, you're bound to make it again and again and again until you learn from it. And kind of the fun part of being human is that we get to learn from each other. And we get to experience life in ways that maybe someone else doesn't. But then we get to come together and we share. And, you know, we talk about things and we learn and we find ways to grow. Because my aunt and I had a kind of hard conversation the other day, and I understood where she was coming from, and I did not mean to cause any distress or harm to her or anyone else. And I did apologize because I stepped in it, and I did not realize it until after she got upset. And so I apologized, and then the next day we were able to talk about what was going on and the issue and why she reacted the way that she did and why I did what I did and what I'm going to do in the future. And being able to kind of talk about that stuff is pretty important. And we weren't able to do that much when my grandmother was alive because it was her way or the highway. And don't get me wrong, I loved my grandma, but there's things that she taught us that are not good to do in life as adults, like stuff your feelings or not talk about things. So we learned some bad habits and we're unlearning those bad habits. And I'm very grateful that I have my mom and my aunt and my cousins. I feel very blessed to have my friends from YouTube and my family and my friends in town. My life is blessed. Is it perfect? No, but it's a good life. And, you know, I really hope that all of you are having a good day and that you're seeing the positivity in your lives. Huh?
It's almost 2:45 almost.
Yeah. I am being reminded that it's time for me to leave. Thank you guys so very much for joining me. and for liking and subscribing. Please remember that you are wanted, you're needed, and you are loved. Be kind to yourself, and well, be kind to everyone, including yourself. Hello. And I will see you guys in the video on Wednesday and the live Thursday at 5 Mountain Standard Time. Bye, guys. Have a great day and a great weekend.